morning. In today's video, we are discussing the control and coordination in a human being. We know that human being is the most advanced organism. So, this control and coordination, it occur by two ways in a human being. That is the nervous control and the chemical control. As we are among the complex organism, different metabolic processes are going on inside our body, and all these metabolic activities, they should be occur in a systematic manner, and there must be the proper execution of all the activities in our body. So for this purpose, the control and coordination, it plays a very important role. And what is actually the control and coordination? Control refers to the systematic execution and coordination refers to the orderly execution of all the metabolic activities of our body. As we know that in our body, the metabolic activities like digestion, respiration, excretion, all these activities, they are going on, and these activities, they are interdependent on each other. So in order to occur in a systematic manner, this control and coordination in a human being, it plays a very important role. And in case of the human being, this control and coordination, it occurs by nervous control and the chemical control. Next slide. In the nervous control, the control and coordination, it occur by means of the well-developed organ system that is called as the nervous system. This human respond the changes in their surrounding due to the nervous control. And how the control and coordination, it takes place, that in our body, for example, in case of the human being, the sense organs are present. How many sense organs are present in a human being? There are 5 different sense organs are there, and these sense organs gives us the senses of the impulses that are coming from our atmosphere. So the impulses, they are generated in the human body as per the changes in the surrounding. So, and whenever our sense organ receives that impulse, these impulse, they are sent toward the main part of our nervous system, that is the brain as well as the spinal cord, and accordingly we are giving the response to the external stimuli. Next slide. This nervous control, it depends upon the complexity of the body structure of the organism. This happens in case of the human being, as human being is among the most complex organism. But what happens in case of the unicellular organism? For example, in case of the amoeba, in a unicellular organisms like amoeba, they do not have the nervous system. So what happens in such an animal? All the metabolic activities, they are, as they are going on in a single cell structure, all they are controlled by the single cell. Okay. Next slide. In case of the multicellular animals like the human being, they have the nervous system, and the control and coordination, it is brought about with the help of the special type of cells which are called as the nerve cell or the neurons. Friends, nerve cell or neuron is the basic structural and functional unit of our nervous system. You had studied about the nephron. What is the nephron? Nephron is the functional unit of our excretory system. We had already studied in this chapter about the nephron, which brings about the filtration. So no confusion about the nephron as well as neuron. Neuron is the basic structural and functional unit of the nervous system. Now what is the neuron and how it works? Now this is the diagram which is already given in a textbook. You have to draw on a notebook, and this nerve cell or the neuron, it is the basic structural and functional unit of our nervous system. And the speciality of this neuron or the nerve cell is that it is the longest cell in a human body. It measures about the meter, okay, and it is the longest cell in the human body. And this nerve cell, as you can see the structure, it is a branch consists of the main, that is the cell body, which contains the nucleus as usual, like to that of the other cell. You had already studied the structure of a cell in a previous year. The cytoplasm is there, and there is a nucleus, and many small processes they are given out. These are called as the dendrites. These are called as the dendrites, and one long process is also given out, that is called as the axon. It is called as the axon. It shows the presence of the Schwann cells and the Renvier, and at the terminal end or at the other end of the axon there are present the axon terminals. And as the one neuron ends, as the axon terminal on one neuron ends, here starts the dendrites of the another neuron. So in this way there is a network of all these neurons or the nerve cell present throughout our body. What's the above? These are the special type of cell which conducts the impulses from one place to another in the body. They are called as the neuron. There is a network throughout our body. These are nerve cells or neurons. They are present throughout the body. For example, if we touch to any hot container, then within a fraction of a second we put our hands away from that container. Okay. गरम भांड्याला हात लावल्याबरोबर आपण आपले हात एकच सेकंदाच्या आत मागे घेतो. तर मग आता हाऊ दिस हॅपन्स, द न्यूरॉन्स और द नर्व सेल विच आर प्रेझेंट in the skin is one of the sensory organ of our body, and these neuron they sends the impulse towards the spinal cord, and spinal cord read that impulse with the help of another neuron. That is in the sensory organ, the neurons they are present, they are called the sensory neuron. I will explain what is the sensory neuron. And these impulses, when they are sent toward the brain as well as the spinal cord, these impulses they are read. Then with the help of the association neuron which are present in the brain as well as the spinal cord, they are read. After that they send the message toward the effector organ. आपण हात मागे घेतो, बरोबर आहे. हात मागे घेतो म्हणजे इथे काय काम करत आहे, our muscles or muscular tissues. These are the effector organs. What these are the effector organs, and we take our hands away from that container. So this message that we should have to put our hands away from that container, that message is sent with the help of the another type of a neuron, that is the motor neuron. Means in this way there is a network of these neurons which is present in our body. The neurons are the structural and functional unit of our nervous system. I told you the neuron is the structural and functional unit of our nervous system. Nephron is a structural and functional unit of which system? Excretory system. No confusion about the neurons and nephrons. Okay. Then the nerve cells, they are the longest cells in the body. It may few meters in a length. It measures about a few meters, and it have the ability to generate and conduct the electrochemical impulse. What is the electrochemical impulse? Whenever we touch to the hot pot at that time, the neurons which receives that impulse, they generate a electrochemical impulse. Means a type of a chemical is synthesized, and that impulse is sent from this dendrite to up to the cell body. From the cell body, this impulse is sent via axon toward the axon terminal. At the end of the axon terminal, the dendrites of the another neuron starts. And in this way the electrochemical impulse is sent from one neuron to another neuron. Next. Now the cells that support the nerve cells, and in their functioning they are called the neuroglia. Neuroglia are the supporting cells which are present part of our nervous system. The nerve cells and the neuroglia, this is not given in our book. Neuroglia cells, they together form the nerves, and all the information about our surrounding is collected by the ends of the dendrites of the neuron. And in this way this nerve cell or the neuron, it works. Next slide. The chemical process begins at the electrical impulses. They are generated at the dendrites, and from this dendrite, these impulses, they are conducted from the dendrites to the cell body. Impulses are generated at this place. After that, they are sent toward the cell body. From the cell body, they are sent toward the axon to its terminal. Next slide. These impulses, they are sent from one nerve cell to the next nerve cell. They are sent from the one nerve cell to the next nerve cell, and that reaches to the brain as well as the spinal cord. These impulses, they are reaches. Now at the junction of the axon terminal of one neuron with the dendrites of the another neuron, there is present one gap. That is called as a synapse. That is called as a synapse. As the impulse, it enters at the axon terminal, the chemical is synthesized at the synapse, and this chemical again stimulates the dendrite of the another neuron. So in this way, the control and coordination, it takes place, and the final action is done with the help of the effector organ. In our body, two types of effector organs are there. That is the muscular tissues as well as the glands. Muscular tissues and glands, these are the effector organs which are present in our body, and they do their final job. In this way, the neuromuscular junction formation takes place. Neuromuscular junction means whenever the impulse is sent toward the brain as well as spinal cord, it reads that impulse and it sends the message toward the muscular tissue. And all these functions, they occur with the help of the neurons, and on the basis of its function, it is divided into three types. That is the sensory neuron, association neuron, and the motor neuron. Now, what are the sensory neuron? The sensory neuron, they carry the impulse from the sensory organ to up to the brain as well as the spinal cord. What are the association neuron? Association neurons are the neurons which can perform the interrogative function. They can perform the interrogative function, and the motor neurons are those neurons which can send the impulse from the brain and spinal cord to the effector organs like muscles or glands. In our body, muscles and glands, these are the two effector organs, and in this way, the process of the control and coordination, it occurs. This is the broad outline about how the control and coordination, it takes place. Now, what is the nervous system and how it works, what are the parts, that we will discuss in the next video. Thank you.